Okay, everybody, this lesson is on parabolas part 4, so hopefully you're starting to get a little familiar with this stuff. So it depends on which way it's going. If it's going left and right, then the y is being squared. If it's going up or down, then the x is being squared, okay? So remember, P is the distance that's between the focus and the vertex, or the vertex and the directrix, and your vertex is always in the middle, and the parabola always surrounds the focus. It's always protecting it. So if you graph them, you guys, just get a general graph of them. It really sets up the equation for us. So let's find an equation of the parabola from the descriptions, and then we'll sketch a graph of that. Okay, so here's the focus at 5, -1. So this is going by 2, so here's 5, here's -1 right there. And the directrix is over here, x equals -3. It's a vertical line, so let's just graph those right there. Remember, the vertex is in the middle, so there's the vertex right there. And that is HK, okay? So remember, the parabola always surrounds the focus, so it has to be going to the right. It has to be going over here to protect that focus right there. And if it's going to the right, then P is positive, and P is this distance between the vertex and the focus, or the vertex and the directrix right here. P is 4 because it's opening to the right, okay? So here is HK. And we know P equals 4, so let's go ahead and substitute it in. So this K is going to be -1, and H is going to be this +1, and then we'll put in 4 times 4, and we'll get that and clean it up, and there's our equation right there. Now for graphing purposes, you guys, we need to get this by itself, so this will tell us how wide it is. This 1/16 tells us how wide it is. So as we go up and down 1, it goes 1/16 of 1 squared, okay? So which is just so small, you guys. If we went up 1/16 of 1 squared is real small. I'd put a dot right there. It looked like it was almost vertical with that guy right there. So instead of going up and down 1, I went up and down 4, because here's 2, 4, and then 4 squared is 16, and 1/16 of that is 1. So at least that'll give me a little grip on my points right there. All right, so let's go up and down 8. Okay, so if we go up and down 8, so here's 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 8 squared is 64. 1/16 of that is 4, so we'd go to the right 4 and put a point right there, okay? All right, and then go ahead and graph your parabola. Don't forget your axis of symmetry is where you can fold that, guys. So it's a horizontal line, y equals -1, okay? All right, let's try this one. So here the focus is -2, 0. So here's the focus, and the directrix is y equals 4, okay? Remember, the vertex is always in the middle. Okay, so the vertex is at -2, 2. Okay, now this parabola opens down because it protects the focus. So P is -2. Okay, so here's HK. So since it's opening down, our x is being squared. So x minus k squared equals 4p y minus, x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. Substituting in, here's h, here's k. So cleaning that up, and there's the equation right there. Okay, so we're going to get this all by itself and divide both sides by -8 to give us a -1/8. So that'll tell us it goes down 1/8 of 1 squared, 1/8 of 2 squared, 1/8 of 3 squared. Okay, so I went over 2 so I can get a little bit of a bite right there. So I'm going down. So 2 squared is 4, and then 1/8 of 4 is a half. Okay, so if we go over 2, it goes down just a half right there. Let's go over 4. 2, 4. 4 squared is 16. 1/8 of that would be 2. So it's going to go down to right there and right there. Okay. All right. And then did I go over some more? Yeah, I went over 8. Okay. So 8 squared is 64, and then 1/8 of that is 8. So if we go over 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, it drops 8. So there we go. That gives us enough to go ahead and graph our parabola right there. And then our axis of symmetry is right down the middle. Vertical line, x equals -2. All right, my coffee just went off. So was that beeping in the background? So find an equation of the parabola with the given information. Okay, so here we go. This is number 1 here. So here we have the vertex, And this is just asking for the equation. It's not asking us to graph. But yeah, I'm going to just do a general graph of that right there. So here's the vertex at 2, -5, and the directrix is a y equals a horizontal line. Okay, remember the vertex is in the middle. So if the vertex is right there, that means the focus is down there. Well, that just tells me that it's opening down, okay? And when it opens down, then P is negative, okay? So the distance from the vertex to the focus, or the directrix to the vertex, is -3.25, because this is at -1.75. And as long as I did my arithmetic/subtraction correctly, I get -3.25. Okay, so here's HK. So HK, it's opening down, so X is being squared, so it's X minus H squared equals 4P Y minus K, and then plugging all that stuff in, and we get that. Okay, what else do we have? All right, so let's see. So this one's number 2, actually, you guys. Let me change that to number 2 real quick. Okay, so let's see. I'm teaching this today, so I got to have it ready. Okay, so the vertex is at 5, 7, so over 5, up 7. The focus is at -18, 7. I just drew a real quick rough sketch of that, you guys. So there it is right there. So that tells me it's opening to the left, which means y is being squared and p is negative, okay? So since y is being squared, my HK here is HK, so this 5 goes here and the 7 goes here, and then the P goes right there. It looks like P is what, -23, I think. Okay, so plugging all that stuff in, we get that, and then simplifying, we get that right there. Okay, all right, so now we're going to convert the equation to standard form of a parabola. Okay, so this is sort of new, sort of not, you guys. We did completing the square before. And our goal here is, since x is being squared, we need to get it in this form. X minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. Okay, so what we need to do is complete the square with the x stuff and throw everything else on the right-hand side. So there, we're going to put the x stuff on the left and then everything else. So I did +4 minus 12 minus 12, so we get 4y minus 12 on the right side. Okay, so now we're going to complete the square with this. Okay, so half of 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4, so we're going to go ahead and add 4 to both sides. Okay, so that gives us a nice perfect squared trinomial, which always factors to this binomial squared. Okay, x times x, 2 times 2, that's what gives us that. This sign always goes in the middle. Okay, so almost there. This is 4y minus 8. We need to be 4p and then parentheses y minus 8. So we want this to be a 1y. So we're going to pull a 4 out of the 4y and a 4 out of the 8. 4 goes into 8 2 times, okay? All right, so now we can see the vertex is at 2, 2. Okay, so here is HK right there. Okay, and since x is being squared, this one is going up or down, and since that's positive, it's going up. Okay, so here's 4p. This 4 stands for this 4p, so 4p equals 4, so p equals 1. Okay, so if we go up 1, the vertex, I'm sorry, the focus is going to be right there, and go down 1, and our directrix is going to be down there. Okay, so there we go, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it in graphing form right there. So as we go over 1, it goes up 1/4 of 1 squared. I think I'm going to go over 2. Oh, I guess I went over 1. Okay, so over 1, 1/4 of 1 squared is just a fourth. So see, these are kind of hard to grasp. So let's go over 2. 2 squared is 4, and a fourth of that is 1. So that's going to take us right there. All right, let's go over 4, okay? 4 squared is 16, 1/4 of that is 4. So if we go over 2 squares, because they count by 2's, and then go up 2 squares, okay, that's enough to give us a nice happy parabola right there. So it's going up, and the axis of symmetry is right down the middle. Let's try one more of these, completing the squares. Okay, so y is being squared, so we need to get it in the form of y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h. Okay, so what we did is we put all the y stuff on the right hand side, so the y squared and the 8y, and then we subtracted 2x and subtracted 18 from both sides, and we get to this. Okay, half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16, so we'll add 16 to both sides, okay? All right, and then so this factors to y plus 4 on this side squared, and then over here we get negative 2x minus 2. Okay, so we want it to be 1x minus something or plus a negative something. So what we're going to do is pull out a negative 2. We'll pull a negative 2 out of that. That's going to change that to an x, and pull a negative 2 out of that. That'll change that to a plus 1 right there. Okay, so now our HK is negative 1, negative 4. There's our HK right there. Okay, so go ahead and graph that, and then the 4p, you guys, so this is 4p. So 4p stands for negative 2, so that means p is negative 1/2. And since y is being squared, it's opening to the left. So if we go a half to the left, our focus will be right there. So what's that? Negative 1.5, comma negative 4, okay? And then the directrix is a half to the right. So that should be a negative 1/2. Let me insert that real quick. This should be a negative 1/2 right there, okay? All right, so because it's at negative 1, so if we go a half to the right, then it's going to be a negative x equals negative 1/2. Okay, so I just copied that so I can paste it there. Okay, so the vertex, you guys, is still negative 1, negative 4, and then we divided both sides by negative 2, so we'll tell us it'll go to the left 1/2 of 1 squared, 1/2 of 2 squared as we go up 1, and then go 1/2 of 1 squared, go up 2. It's going to go 1/2 of 2 squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So up 1, a half of 1 squared is a half. So I went up 1, and it went to the left a half, okay, which is just above that focus point right up there. And let's go up 2. So up 2, 2 squared is 4, half of that is 2. So we went up 2, it went to the left 2, okay, and then up 4, and it went to the left 8, okay. There's our parabola, there's our axis of symmetry. Thank you, son. And I think we're done right there. Yep, we are. Okay, so if you are in our class, that's going to be your homework assignment right there. Take care.